First and foremost, I would like to extend a huge thanks and shout out to my friends over at Old National Auto Sales in Paragon, Indiana for allowing me to come out and film this incredible time capsule of a car. They have an ever-changing inventory of some really cool vehicles where I have filmed this, and this. Make sure you give them a look online as they have an ever-changing inventory. The Chrysler Crossfire, a modern interpretation of the Art Deco boat-tail teardrop coupe, embodies the spirit of the era. Conceptualized in 2001 by Eric Stoddard and refined by Andrew Dyson, the Chrysler Crossfire made its debut at the 2001 North American International Auto Show. Production commenced in 2003 for the 2000 model year. Throughout its 4-year production run, the Crossfire served as Chrysler's halo car, captivating audiences with its striking design. The car's design language was intentionally provocative, evoking strong emotions and sparking diverse reactions. The coupe's distinctive Art Deco style, characterized by its boat-tail shape, fastback rear glass, and wide fenders, exuded a heritage look reminiscent of the 1967 AMC Marlin. The Crossfire's foundation was laid by Chrysler's then-new merger with Daimler, which resulted in the use of Mercedes-Benz R170 platform. This platform shared 80% of its components with the first-generation SLK Roadster. The Crossfire is manufactured by Karmann in Osnabrück, Germany, with the first car rolling off the line on February 3, 2003. Despite its initial success, the Crossfire faced challenges due to low sales and restructuring plans. Consequently, Chrysler discontinued the model after the 2008 model year, with the last Crossfire rolling off the assembly line on December 17, 2007. Hey everyone, today in our latest installment of the in-depth review series, we are taking a look at this very nice and very well equipped, very nicely preserved 2004 Chrysler Crossfire. Now the Crossfire was available in two trims, the base and the limited. Today we are taking a look at the limited, and it is painted in the graphite metallic, and it does feature the satin silver windshield trim and the side strakes. Inside is a two-tone dark slate and medium slate gray leather interior. Now I do have full pricing on screen, and a full options list is in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Today's review is going to be a full in-depth review. We're going to cover everything from the exterior to the interior, powertrain, fuel economy, performance, and everything else in between. Opening the hood on the Crossfire is easy. A large red release handle is underneath the driver's side knee bolster, and the safety release is right underneath the wing badge. Normally, the hood is kept open with a large gas strut, but this one is sadly worn out. All Crossfires are rear-wheel drive with a 3.2-liter single overhead cam 18-valve M112 E32 V6 as the only engine. The SRT6 with its AMG-tuned engine wouldn't appear until the 2005 model year. This engine produces 215 horsepower at 5,700 RPM and 229 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM. Road and Track magazine tested their manual Crossfire for 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.4 seconds. 0 to 100 miles per hour hit in at 16.1 seconds, and it completed the quarter mile in 14.7 seconds at 95.9 miles per hour. The top speed on this car is 150 miles per hour. The Crossfire is equipped with a 15.9 US gallon fuel capacity, and it consumes 5.6 gallons per 100 miles driven, with an estimated total driving range of around 286 miles. EPA fuel economy ratings are 15 miles per gallon in the city, 23 miles per gallon on the highway, and a combined average of 18 miles per gallon. While the majority of customers opted for the $1,075 optional Mercedes-Benz Source 5-speed W5 A330 5G-tronic automatic transmission that was equipped with winter and sport mode and auto-stick manual shift capabilities, our review subject has 3 pedals and utilizes the standard equipment 6-speed Chrysler-sourced NSG 370 manual transmission. It features a satin silver shift knob with the same character spline design element as the rest of the car. All Crossfires, regardless of transmissions, had the same 3.27 to 1 final drive ratio. Steering is hydraulically assisted recirculating ball and features 3.1 turns lock-to-lock with a 32.9 foot turning radius and a 16.7 to 1 overall ratio. Wheels are staggered size satin silver painted with fronts measuring 18 by 7.5 inches and are shod in 225/40 R18 tires, with the rears measuring 19 by 9 inches and are shod in 255/35 R19s. Brakes are 4-wheel disc brakes and are assisted by ABS and electronic traction control. Up front we have 11.8-inch ventilated rotors with 10.9-inch ventilated rotors in the rear. The brakes can halt the Crossfire from 70 miles per hour to 0 in about 158 feet. Now as we walk along the rear of the Crossfire, of course I'll cover it in more depth and detail, but I actually think that the coupes look a lot better than the convertibles due to the teardrop shape that harkens back to the Art Deco era. Alrighty, as promised, taking a look at the rear end detail. This is probably my favorite view of the Crossfire, simply because I love the Art Deco Aero coupes or the teardrop coupes from the 1930s. And of course this car harkens to that era very, very nicely. One thing I really wish it would have had, and I'm not a big fan, but if the side window trim was the same satin silver as it was on the windshield header, I think that would be a really nice continuity aspect. But coming down that really nice sloping teardrop design, comes into these taillights here. They wrap nicely into the fenders. And of course we have incandescent bulbs. Of course, red for the brake light and tail lights, amber for the turn indicators, and white for your backup lights. We've also got reverse lights here, or marker lights, I'm sorry. And then of course here we have the Crossfire logo here with a really unique font, the Chrysler wing badge. And of course we've also got the adjustable spoiler here. And moving down, the center exhaust, a very nice touch. Nice large dual rectangles on either side of the Venturi fins. Gives it a really nice sporty look. Alright, and as we walk along the profile of the car, on screen are the dimensions, and just take a look at the way the car looks. In the coupe form, to me it looks really, really nice. Harkens back to the old Talbot Lagos and the Bugatti Type 57s and all that kind of stuff. Very Art Deco teardrop shape. And of course it does have that short rear deck and long hood that's characteristic of these kind of cars. Now as we walk along the front, just like we did in the rear, we're going to cover the front end styling in depth. But it does have that classic Chrysler look from the early 2000s. The egg crate grille and the indentions and the lines in the hood. And of course the cutout headlamps. Alrighty, up front, a little bit different look from the rear, but still very classic Chrysler and very classic Art Deco. One thing I really like about this car, these side post mirrors are really, really nice looking. The satin silver trim that's on the Limited, if you had a base model, this would be black. Of course, you also have the side strakes down here. Non-functional vents, of course, but they do look really, really nice. That sculpted aluminum long hood wraps very tightly around the front of the car into these side marker lights and these very stylized headlamps, projector beam headlamps on the dual low beam, high beam. You could opt for xenon high intensity discharge lamps, but this car just has halogen. The driving light here, you also have your turn indicator up top, clear lens, black bezels, high intensity fog lamps would be down below, lower air intake of course. The classic Chrysler egg crate grille harkens back to the Chrysler Crossfire concept. The entire front portion of this car features the large Chrysler winged emblem with the classic Chrysler logo. And of course, because of the Art Deco styling, we've also got the symmetrical indentation lines across the hood that was also seen on the Chrysler Sebring from the same era. Alright, now we're going to take a look inside, but before we get inside, let's take a look at the key fob. It's an old key fob. It is basically a Mercedes-Benz unit from this era. On the back, it does have the Chrysler logo in the circle where the Mercedes-Benz 3-pointed star normally would be. It is a light gray plastic with a black membrane and a red membrane here for the switches. So we have lock and unlock, and then we have panic here, and it is a laser cut switchblade style key. And of course, to unlock the car, you basically just press the unlock button there. There's no smart key access or anything like that. And to open the doors, simply grab the satin silver door pulls, as you see here, and pull the door open. And taking a look inside is just an absolutely really nice interior. Very much pulled straight from the Mercedes-Benz SLK, of which this is based on. Just a very nice interior, very sporty, very comfortable. Taking a look at the door panels, here you can see, of course, the two-tone dark slate, light or medium slate gray interior, door-mounted side impact airbags, padded armrest, chrome door pulls with the satin silver surround for the speakers. This is the tweeter, and of course, down below is your mains. Also has satin silver, large elastic netting for door pockets. This really nice satin silver door pull that looks structural, but it's not. It's just plastic, but it does have a structural look to it. Taking a look at the driver's side instrument panel. Of course, we have headlamp controls here, and of course, our front and rear parking lamps. And then, of course, we can also pull the headlight switch out for front and rear fog lamps. Air vent, of course. The knee bolster here, in lieu of a knee airbag, Chrysler put this bolster in. Of course, we've also got by pulling this lever out, it is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Taking a look inside the footwell. Of course, we have 3 pedals because this vehicle is equipped with the 6-speed manual transmission. Up here is your hood release. Of course, we have the Chrysler carpeted floor mats. Inside, we have this brushed aluminum entry plate that is embossed with the Crossfire logo. We've got 8-way power driver and passenger seats. And taking a look at the seats are a high back bucket seat. Very comfortable, very supportive, and they of course are also heated. Taking a look a little bit closer, you can see the Chrysler logo is embossed in the headrest. Accent stitching, of course a 2-tone treatment. You got the inserts here that are a different texture than the rest of the leather. But overall, just a very nice, very comfortable seat. Let's go ahead and hop inside, take a look at the rest of the interior. Alrighty, now that we're inside, let's take a look at the rest of the interior. Nice, thick rimmed 4-spoke steering wheel, of course leather wrapped. It does have those satin silver spoke details there. Very, very nice. And you'll notice the absence of controls on the steering wheel, which is a really nice departure from a lot of other cars, especially for a driver-centric car. So no multifunction controls to get in the way of anything. Just really nice positive grip and real nice control of the steering wheel. Taking a look at the multifunction controls, of course, pulled right out of the Mercedes-Benz switchgear. Of course, you have your multifunction controls, high beam, flash to pass, turn indicators, wiper washer controls, and of course your cruise controls are all over here. There are no controls over here. Taking a look ahead is our instrument cluster. It is basically a very stylized version of the SLK. Taking a look over on the far left, we have our coolant temperature and our fuel gauge with our exterior temperature display. This little knob here is actually our panel brightness and brightness display control. Front and head is a 160 mile per hour speedometer. It does have a digital readout for our trip odometer and our miles. Our odometer currently at the time of this recording is showing 112,468 miles. And then over, of course, on the right hand side, we have our 7,000 RPM tach. This little window here, if you had an automatic transmission, that would be your gear indicator. And of course, we have our clock. Now over here it does show a brake light. That's just because I have the parking brake on and our seatbelt indicators on. And of course, these instruments light up green at night instead of orange like it does in the SLK. Pulling over the top of the dash is a nice soft touch material, kind of heavily grained, but this bezel here is a plastic, but beyond that is all the soft touch grained vinyl, and it goes across the entire width of the dash. One thing I do like is this little spine here actually meets up with the spine on the hood for a continuous look, and that actually goes all the way down the center console and into the shift knob. It also has that same spine for continuity, and it runs all the way through the entire length of the car. Over here on the passenger side, of course, we have the passenger side airbag, locking glove box. Of course, it has the owner's manual and all that kind of stuff, and it is illuminated. Moving down the center portion of the center stack, actually, we have positional air vents. You can turn the air vents off and on. And of course, we have dual zone controls with slide wheels, very Mercedes-Benz. Everything's pulled out of the Mercedes-Benz parts bin. So you just turn these knobs to rotate for cool or warm air. Fan speed is all over here. Panel distribution is over here. Rear defroster, air conditioning, and recirculate. And of course, we've also got the Mercedes-Benz CD player here, all painted in this satin silver trim. Over here, we have the driver's side heated seat control. This is our spoiler deployment lever here. And then, of course, we have stability control, four-way flashers, door locks, tow and recovery mode, and passenger side heated seats, passenger airbag indicator switch, cigarette lighter and 12-volt power point, and just a little odds and ends or ashtray. Moving down the center stack, of course, we do have the manual transmission. Has that satin silver handle there. And then on the either side is our power window controls. Down the center stack, of course, continuing on, is our mirror controls here. Left and right mirror control, a proper handbrake, and a dinky little cup holder. That spine continues all the way back here to its termination point here. And this opens up to reveal storage. Behind the seats is a storage pocket, and behind the driver's seat is a storage net. Also, on the roof, you have another spine that continues into the headliner that echoes what's on the roof. Taking a look overhead, we do have overhead reading lights. Just one reading light, actually. There's no, even though there's two lights, you can't individually turn them on and off. Homelink universal garage door opener and an automatic dimming rearview mirror. Sun visors are small. They swing down, and they have non-illuminated vanity mirrors here. However, the sun visors do not swing out or slide. They are fixed in place, and this is the only position you can move them in. All right, let's take a look at the luggage area now. Opening this is very easy. There's only one way to do it. Right underneath the S here, there is actually a switch here, and you can actually lift that handle up, and it opens up a very narrow hatch to reveal pretty decent storage space, actually, for a car of this size and class. Nice and flat with a removable floor mat. No folding seats or anything like that, no pass-throughs or anything. But it would be illuminated if the light bulb wasn't burned out. And then underneath the floor, we do have your tire inflation kit and all that kind of stuff, jack and tools and all that. As you can see, it doesn't open up it opens up very nice and wide, just not very large. And to close it is very easy. Just close it just like that. Alrighty, and there you have it. The 2004 Chrysler Crossfire Limited Coupe. We hope you found the review informative, and if you did, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews and our Instagram channel at BrensoJ1. And of course, as always, Thanks for watching.